silver dabbler. Yeah, we've got that. It's caught me salmon, sea trout, brown trout, rainbow trout. It's not caught me grayling yet, but I'm working on it. And it caught me a 12.5 pound brown trout on Loch Corrib. So it's one hell of a fly. And it did at one time hold the shielding record for Stuart McTeer. I've got a little, I call this my wet cat's whisker. So it's a little size 12 wet fly that I've done very well on it. I've got another superb little olive pattern from Lake Olives are coming off. And that caught me a 4.5 pound brown trout and Loch Eye in Scotland. Claret Bumble, because it'd be nice to see me putting a J front hackle on. I tie it false. We then got a, what the hell's that now? Oh yeah, it's a Bibbio hopper. Yeah, with some flash in it. I'm tied on a bent hook, a curved hook. An orange wet fly. And a sedgehog, if anybody would want me to see me tie a sedgehog. Okay, right. What would you like me to do first? Come on, all shout at once.
Claret.
Bibbio.
Oh, right. Bibbio.
Everybody was muted.
Bibbio.
Right, we'll try the Bibbio hopper. Anybody fish Carsington water? Might be a bit far for you lads to go, yeah?
Never been.
I have once.
Okay. Right, it's a size 12 grub hook. Put them back so I can find them. Right, black thread. And I'm starting it about 2 mil away from the eye. I'm going to take that off now. I'm going to tie my rib in. My rib is Mirage tinsel. I use a lot of Mirage. I think it's brilliant stuff, particularly when the sun's shining. You get that bit of glint, and it works very well. So I'm tying that in. I'm just bringing. Pardon?
It's awesome stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think me and you, Gav, from watching your videos and the flies you put on YouTube, we're very similar in how we tie.
Yes, I think we are.
Right. Some black seal fur, not using any wax or anything like that. Definitely no wax on the thread. So I'm just waiting for rubbing it together and waiting for it to go tacky in my fingers. And then I'm just going to dub it onto the thread. Now, I can't really dub a lot on because I'm tight for room with this webcam. So if I clout the webcam, I'm sorry. So up we come. And I'm bringing it to a point, to the point where I meet the point of the hook, which is about there-ish. And I'm going to rib it with my Mirage. the turns, I need as much mirage as I've got seals for popping through.
Oh.
So it's like half and half, if you like. And that's the way I tie my silver dabblers. It's not a silver body. It's half silver and half claret seal spur. So, right, okay. And at this point, I'm going to put my legs on. And I'm only just putting a couple on each side. I'm not going daft. And besides, I'm a Yorkshireman. We don't like to use too much material. So on they go.
Oh, are they natural? They're not black, are they? Just natural.
No, they're natural. I can put black on if you want.
No.
But I don't think it makes much difference. I sometimes put red legs on when I'm tying like a heatherfly version of it. And this is Semperfly's ice dubbing, red.
Real sparkly, that, isn't it?
Well, it's good stuff. It's got bits of gold running through it as well. And it's quite a long fibre length and all, so it's easy to dub. I'm going to rag it out a bit now as well. And I'm going to put a wing on. Keep it well up in the water. So this is just rhodia. Get all the hair out. Stick it in the hair stacker. It's not stacked very well.
Give it a good bashing.
Aye. I always just say, you know, you have to treat your deer hair like you treat your women. You have to make them do.
I bloody hate this stuff.
You know, I love it.
It works well on flies.
It
works well on flies. My eyes can't take it.
Right.
You're like pistols in the snow.
Right.
Oh, terrible.
And it gets everywhere.
Oh.
I'm lucky I've got a room to myself, so, you know, if a few bits go on the floor, it's right. In fact, it sometimes looks like a fox has been in here. There's that many bloody feathers knocking about. So just don't need to clear it up. Right, so on with the deer hair, keeping on top. If you let go of it, it'll spin. Okay, so there's its wing. I'm shaking a bit tonight.
Stage fright.
Yeah, nerves. Oops, sorry.
Well, if you've got nerves, start on the whiskey and it'll take it away.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just going to put a black hen hackle on front.
That'll stay up well in the water.
Hackle. Pardon?
That'll stay up well in the water.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I do with my mayflies. You know, if I want a mayfly just to come back through French partridge mayfly, I always put a little bit of deer hair in there just to keep it up, deer hair wing.
All right.
And of course, you can fish them with doing that. You can fish them dry as well. Okay. Everybody see that? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Good.
Mm. Yeah, float all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
nice.
it nearer.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Can you see the red coming through?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so that's the Bibbio hopper.
And I suppose with the curved duck, they'll sit nice and deep. With the curved duck, it'll sit nice and deep in the surface, yeah?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's it like that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Right. What do we fancy now? Silver dabbler?
Do the sedgehog while you got the deer hair, Andy.
Sedgehog. Where are you? All right, I'll tie a big one.
What size hook? About an 8?
This is a 10, I think. Oh, I don't know. It's an 8.
Have you got a preference for what hook you use? Is it partridge or Parmesan?
I've always used, even when I first started tying flies, Camasan.
Yeah.
B175s, B100s, B110s, short shanks as well for my spiders. Short shanks, 160s, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've a lot of faith. I'm a metallurgist, and I have a lot of faith in Camasan hooks. It's not just the metal; it's how they deal with it as well. And they've got the tempering absolutely spot on, which is more than I can say for partridge. Really, I've no faith in partridge hooks. I don't know about you guys, but no, particularly in the smaller sizes. But hey ho.
I've always used Amazons.
But I mean, we all have our preferences. Yeah. Right. Okay. Sedgehogs. Bit of a revelation for me, really, sedgehogs, when I first started using them. I was up in the Flow Country, right in the north of Scotland. You can't get much further north. And I was given this pattern. And I just couldn't believe how effective it was. I mean, the fish were jumping over it everywhere. And it was more fun, really, just watching them coming up behind it and jumping over it rather than, you know, catching them. So we're trying to pull them out of their mouths as they were coming at them. Yeah, great, absolute great fun. And I've been a fan ever since. And they work well on rainbows as well. You know, when the fish are up in the water, they work well as well. So this is a fiery brown sedgehog. Fiery brown and claret are my favourite colours, and fiery brown is my favourite. Okay. So all we're pulling off is, we're not pulling a great deal of deer hair off, just a small bunch. Doesn't need to be a lot. Thing about this sedgehogs is they're just boring to tie. They're a bit laborious.
What hair is it you're using, Melvyn?
This is raw.
Okay, yeah. Is that your go-to, is it?
Well, I shoot plenty of them.
Oh, right.
And the thing about raw is there's thicknesses and colours for every fly that you'd ever want to tie, from real, you know, sort of fine comparadun hair right up to the thick, the real thick stuff for your sedgehogs. So a lot of people struggle with the length of the wing. Now, I always say that the length of the wing should be the gape of the hook, but I mean, it's your preference. But that for me is about right. Again, keep hold of it when you tighten it up. I'm putting 3 turns on, and then I'm tightening up. 3 slack turns. And I'll probably put another 3 on. Wet my fingers, lift the hair up, come in with me scissors and just snip it off. And after I've snipped it off, straight on there, I just neaten it up. And then bit of seal slurp. Don't need a lot. One of Stan Headley's flies. I mean, Stan really has tied some cracking flies. And basically the same again. Just chop.
Sorry, what hook's that, Melvyn? I had a phone call when you were telling.
This is a size 8 B175.
How small do you go with them?
Pardon?
How small do you go with those?
14s.
Thank you.
Don't tie many on 14s. So again, the size of the gape for the hook. I find it good to spin that thread or the bobbin anti-clockwise, because then I can put my material on, throw a slack loop, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's just gone down my finger. So if I put my finger in the right position, the thread goes on in the right place. So it just throws the loop over to the left, my left. Okay, second bunch on. Lift, cut, throw that down there. Deer hair. Sorry, deer hair. Seal fur. We're not going to be getting this for much longer, you know. They've banned it in certain countries.
Hillsborough.
I don't know if you're aware of that. In America, you can't get it. So make the most of it while you can.
Ah.
The thing to remember is you've got to make sure that you've gone right over those pens, and you've got, but sometimes if you do, and it just looks ugly. They look nice as well done with the flash. So what they're doing with the lockdown rules, Gavin, in Wales?
They haven't really changed them. I think it's the
Right,
same as the
okay.
rest of it now. You've got to wear your masks indoors and to big events.
Yeah.
And use your common sense, to be honest. I don't have Christmas parties.
That were absolutely ludicrous, wasn't it? That.
It's pathetic. I think his time is numbered now.
Yeah.
Because his own party are rebelling against. You can't tell lies constantly, and sometimes a leader's got to tell lies, you know, for our well-being. But come on, come on, innit?
Yeah. Well, I got my booster today.
Have you got arm ache?
Pardon?
Have you got arm ache yet?
No.
Okay, you will now.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've had no symptoms from last two I've had.
No, it's just arm ache.
It affects some and not others, doesn't it?
Yeah. Must be thick skin, me. You got to be in the auction.
With that thick skin, they couldn't get the needle in.
You're saying about the seal fur, Melvyn?
Pardon?
You were saying about the seal fur. I was
Yes.
talking to, Graham Anthony?
Right.
The Celtic Blog Company.
Right.
And I seen him a few weeks ago, and he said that I think it's all about people's conception with culling seals.
Yeah.
But most of the seals that they get now is shed. He said,
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I've heard that as well.
He said it rolls. He said you see it sometimes. He said it's like tumbleweed rolling across ice.
Yeah.
Across the beaches, across stones. He said it's
Yes.
and native people gather it and sell it for us basically, and they use it as stuffed pillows and that type of thing.
Loads of what?
They use it as stuffed pillows and all.
Yeah.
And he said there's so much of it. He said he wouldn't believe it.
I've just snapped my thread, by the way. So.
Oh, that we all do that.
Yeah. Yes. I've heard that, Gavin.
Yeah.
But you know, all the seals for you see it with sawdust in. I don't know whether you know why it's got sawdust in.
No, go on.
It's got sawdust in to soak the blood up.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So we don't want that one.
No. But I've never had seal's fur without the sawdust in.
You just have to pick through it, don't you?
Well, I mean, there's ethically, yeah, I don't think you should be using it.
Not the time.
If the brain, I'm a blood sports guy. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not against shooting or seal that comes up river. But something about brain them on the head.
Yeah,
I find a little bit distasteful.
And especially there are alternative materials, you know. No.
Yeah, starting to be good.
In the modern age.
Yeah, I mean, the Irish have been using mohair for years.
Yeah.
You know, their traditional dubbing is mohair. You know, the Frankie McPhillips's stuff.
Yes. Well, Vicuna dubbing.
That's mohair.
That's good stuff. Vicuna is very good.
Yeah, to me, I like it. But it's a little bit dull. Just doesn't have that brilliance.
No, I don't think anything will have it like seal's fur, to be honest.
Well, you have a look at the Frankie McPhillips stuff. It's as near as it comes. I mean, Ted Malloy, in his book "Tie and Flies the Irish Way," that's all he ever used. He never used seal's fur. All mohair.
Right, when you're fishing this, Mel, would you grease it up?
Right, I'll tell you what I do, Gavin. I have some muslin here.
Yeah, got that. And soak it in overnight.
All right.
I just, what I do is as soon as I've got them tied, stick them in there, 24 hours, put them on a piece of kitchen roll.
Yeah, let them soak it in.
Let it soak. And they dry out overnight, you know, if it's just on the blotted on that. And then it'll be afloat all day.
Well, if you look at the materials you've used, the seal's fur on the, the DA.
Yeah.
There's not much better than that.
You've got at least 6 bunches on there, haven't you?
Yeah. It's a size 8.
Yeah.
Right. Now, technically, this is a hedgehog and not a sedgehog because I'm not putting a hackle on front. I'm just putting the seal's fur over. Right. But I'm putting a lot on. I'll show you for why. Let's just finish this. And then I'll talk about my preferred way of fishing it. So there's all your bunches on, there's your shape, and then just rag it out. Take it up into the wing.
Oh, that's good.
As you said, Jog.
Nice.
See if I can get it a bit closer.
Good.
Yeah, that's the fella. Do you guys fish them?
Yeah.
Especially for wild brownies, they're absolutely fantastic. Great. How I fish them? I either fish it on the top dropper. When we could fish Malham Town, this was my go-to fly. The silver dabbler and this fella's caught me some huge fish. It caught me 9.8. Sorry, a 9.2 on Malham Town. which 4 years ago, there'd been no other recorded as big as that 9 pound 2. And then about not even 6 months later, there were a 14.5 caught. So yeah, some phenomenal fishing in Malham Town, but difficult to catch. You know, if there's two of you in the boat, one of you will have a fish over 3 pound, but generally it'll only be one of you. Yeah. So you get all the reservoir guys going, expecting to catch loads of fish, catching nothing, and they don't come back. But when in fact there's some fantastic fish in there. But the other way I fish it is I'll fish it on a sink tip on the point, and I just throw it out, wait for the tip to sink, and just give it a pull, and it dives, and then you stop retrieving it, and it lifts up in the water again. So it hatches. So you dive in it, and then it hatches. You dive in it, and then it hatches. That can be great fun. Okay, right, next one.
What was the olive you were on about?
The olive, right, okay. I fish, we don't have, apart from the rivers around here, very much. I have to travel 50 miles to get any decent brown trout water. But I have a syndicate water up in the Pennine Hills that we only stock once a year. So the fish get naturalized very, very quickly. And this is a little olive pattern that it's my best olive pattern. So I'll tell you one of my little olives. Well, I've just dropped my rib. Excuse me a second.
Is that the pearl rib again?
Yeah. In fact, the whole body's this. Don't drop it again, you idiot.
Wet your finger and touch it.
Yeah. Right, so the 14. And this is a fluorescent yellow thread. And its tail is a few fibres of golden olive or yellow cockhackle. The length of the tail is the length of the hook. Should have put my rib in first, but anyhow, not to worry.
Just slightly out of focus. That's
That
it.
better?
Yeah.
Put my rib in, which is fine gold wire. 0.1. And my rib.
And that's the Mirage, yeah?
This is the Mirage, yeah.
Good stuff, that is.
It really is. Semperfly do a version, but it's not as good as the original, the UTC.
Do you find, Melvyn, that Semperfly thread loses its colour?
It depends what you've got, what colour, what thread you're using. The classic wax is brilliant. I found no better thread than the classic wax. The nano silk is probably what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The nano silk, anybody's nano silk, dyed nano silk, will lose its colour.
Right.
It's the nature of the stuff. It's basically made from super glue.
All right.
Yeah. And it's very difficult. I mean, at Semperfly, they've got the dyeing off. You know, it's sent away to a firm in Carlisle. And they really do know what they're doing. Yeah. Okay, so that's that done. Right. This is a light olive hackle. I'm going to run through the body, palmer through the body. Where we go. Just one turn at the head and about 3 turns down. That's all it needs.
It looks almost like a Curly Invicta at the moment.
A little one.
Yeah.
So worry that off. Away it goes. Chop that off. This is grey partridge dyed yellow.
That's good.
Where did I put my apple players? There they are.
Are they Stoneflow, Melvyn?
Pardon?
Are they Stoneflow, the hackle pliers?
No. CNF.
You know. I like the little round one as well.
Yeah. I prefer these. You know, the ones with the
handle.
The handle rather than the little round ring. Yeah.
Good grip on them.
Oh, excellent grip. I think they're best on the market, but
Yeah.
I don't use anything else now.
They're expensive, but they're worth it.
Yeah. Just put a nice, neat little head on.
What thread's that, Melvyn?
No yellow.
This is Semperfly Classic Wax. I
What
generally use 12-0. It's just, I find it as strong as the Uni 8-0.
Yeah.
Pardon?
But just
Sorry,
a
I
bit
missed it.
just a bit finer
It's
than
very
the
strong. And the other thing about it is you can flatten it out as well, where you can't really flatten Uni.
Nice fly.
You need to tie, you guys at fishing lakes, these lake olives, you want to tie some of these. They're a cracking little fly.
nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
And for my little, well, I'm saying little syndicate water, it's not little, there's 5 reservoirs. And I used to fish, when I was fishing competitions, it used to be quite, using quite big flies. Up there, I'm starting to use 14s and 16s and doing very well on those rather than the big ones. But that is one fly that I would highly recommend for you guys, particularly up in the Welsh mountain lakes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that caught me a cracking fish on Lockey Eye. Right. Anything now?
Yeah.
We've got that the cat's whisker wet. We've got the orange palmered wet. We've got Rob Denson's Clan Chief Crippler with a muddler head. And we've got Kingsmill Moors Claret Bumble.
Can you do the Claret Bumble?
Whatever anybody wants.
Claret Bumble?
Claret Bumble. Right, okay.
Just work your way through them, Melvyn.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably my favourite bumble. I read A Man May Fish. Kingsmill Moors, cracking book, and I was hooked, immediately hooked on tying bumbles and fishing them. And since then, I've been, for the past, nearly 15 years, been to Ireland every year apart from the last 2. But I've not fished the Costello system. I intend to do this year. Now my wife's retired, we've bought ourselves a motorhome and we'll be spending a lot of time in Ireland.
Looks a nice motorhome, Melvyn.
All right. It's all right. In fact, I think that might be a little bit big. Tight on this. That's a 10. Just have a look at that. Right. Black thread. We're starting that just about on the eye. And I'm bringing it back a couple of mil and then I'm coming back again back towards the eye. Just chop that off. Right, now I'm preparing my jay. There's some less defined feathers down this bottom end that I'm going to pull out. And then what I'm doing is I'm bringing them all these fibers out until the tips are all in line. And I'm going to rip them off. And I'm going to close them together. And I'm going to put them on my desk. I'm going to do that again. I'm not as clever as Davy McPhail. I can't nip them all in my fingers and keep them together. I've ripped them. I'm just aligning all the tips. Okay. Now then. You want the blue jay to be longer than the body hackle, okay? And the body hackles are about 1.5 times the gape of the hook. So really you could do with it double the gape. And double the gape on a standard Camasan hook is the length of the hook, all right? So I've got the length of the hook for my gauge. I'm now spinning that anti-clockwise to get that loop over the front, over my fingers, running it down. And then what I'm doing, I'm putting 2 on. And I'm going to roll that round the hook. Now, it's not all gone around the hook, but all I need to do is chase it round. Just backwards and forwards. Come on, Gil. Can you see what I'm doing? Pull it back a bit. It must have been a female jay, this. Not playing ball. Try another way.
That's it, you've got to.
So look, we'll just tap it that way. Yeah, we've got it. So, coming back with a way about 6 turns. And then we're going to lift that. And what you can get away with a jay hackle, is push them all forward again. And if you've got 1 or 2 straight ones, larger ones, you can just nip them. And you would never know that I'd done that.
And the good thing about doing that is when you finish, you can make a nice, neat little head, can't you?
Yeah. Yep.
It finishes it all perfect.
So for those of you who didn't know, that's the way to tie a false jay hackle in. You can split them and wind them on if you're really sadistic. So one of my pet hates is putting too many golden pheasant tippets in. I think they look terrible. All the tippet length is about the length of the body, and that's all you want. And you only want no more than 8. You see some of these flies that are coming out of Kenya, and there must be 50 or 60 in. And they look terrible. Right, I'm going to put the gold ribbon at the same time as I'm doing this. If I can find it. Yes, we can find it. And the silver one, can't find the gold one. I'd rather use gold wire than round tinsel or oval tinsel. But again, that's just a preference. That's too thick. Use the 0.2. And this is the antique gold. It took me years to realise that I didn't have to bend the hook when I were tying things in. I used to really swing on that thread, you know, wondered why it would break.
Yeah. Having a nice little light touch.
Claret seals fur. I hope I don't catch the webcam now. Gonna do. I'm just leaving a gap to tie the hackles in. And the hackles are a ginger and claret, just bare in the ends. Make sure I've got them the right way around. These are saddle hackles, by the way. Okay. I'm just coming in to that tying in point. And over we go. And then down the body. That's at 3 full turns.
You tied them both in, Melvyn?
Yeah. Don't you?
I've never tied a bumble.
All right. Yeah. Both in together. 5 turns, or about 5 turns of a rib. Don't know how I do it for money. Right, and I'm going to tie that in there, that hackle, right at the back, that wire right at the back. And wear it off. Get rid of these hackles at the back. We're going to rip out some of the sails fur. Most important, this, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you're bringing bumbles back, or any fly that's tied with seal's fur, the halo of light that surrounds the fly as you're bringing it back in is unbelievable. I didn't believe it for a start, but hey, I'm just going to put a little bit of dubbing in now, just to cover those thread wraps from tying in the rib. So just a touch of seal's fur. Hitting the webcam again. And just tap the J feathers back. Lick your fingers. Pull them back. Trying to avoid sticking the hook point in your finger. Done. One golden olive bumble.
Yeah, very good, Melvyn.
Lovely.
Okay. So, the next fly. I'll tell you this cat's whisker, wet. But you're all thinking, oh no, not a bloody cat's whisker. Well, this, it doesn't, it's only got the cat's whisker colours.
That is my absolute bogey pattern, the cat's whisker.
It's a bogey. Can't you catch fish on it?
No, honest to God. I have tied thousands of them. Thousands. I tie them for all the boys, and honest, I've tied in bovey version, I tied it in puller version, I tied it in a muddler version, and it is my bogey pattern. I've actually been there, and boys are catching fish either side of me, and I think something's wrong here. And that's the way it is sometimes, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Maybe it's down to confidence.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But it catches
my bogey fish. My bogey fish was turbot from all the years that I'd been sea fishing. And I started sea fishing with my dad when I was about 6 or 7. And I did it up to about 10 years ago. And I could never catch turbot. And we used to, our local sea fishing club used to take young kids from the local community. We got a grant to do it, take them out fishing. So you take them out sea fishing. And we took these kids out to North Wales, to Rill. And never caught a fish in this life, this lad that I was looking after. and never been any what the hell do they call them? I've forgotten. Any of these turbot being caught in North Wales.
Yeah.
First drop, what did he bring up? A bloody turbot. I couldn't believe it. I nearly kicked him in. I said to him, I says, you know how many years I've been trying to catch one of them?
You little sod, get over.
Ah, right. Okay. Right, we'll put it a red head. So, red thread. Couple of mil up behind the eye. Away we go. Bang it in. Put the rib in. I usually put the rib in first, and I tie it generally underneath.
Any reason for that?
Speed, Bill, I've just pulled it out, but mind you, I've got the tippets in my fingers. Speed, if I'm tying them for people, I'm going to do something now I should never do. If I'm tying them for people, you know, you've got to, you're never going to make a lot of money, are you, tying 4 an hour and charging £2 a piece?
No.
So, speed, really.
I did it for years and years, but 20, 23, 24 years production.
Yeah.
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 Like you said, you're not going to earn a fortune out of it.
No. It's like when I'm big classic salmon flies. You know, folk want to buy them, and when you tell them you want 60 quid for them,
oh, I know.
And you know, they might take 5 hours to. Jock Scott will take me 5 hours to tie.
And the cost of the materials, and it's
I mean, I mean, your hooks on a classic salmon fly, a proper classic salmon fly hook, is going to be 10 quid.
Yeah.
Never mind the busted feathers at 100 quid a piece. You know, and the cock of the rock feathers at 10 quid a pair. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, glister, chartreuse glister.
What was the tail?
The tail is Amherst tippet. Sorry, I didn't tell you. Amherst tippet.
Derek will give you lines for that.
Give you what?
Give you lines.
Oh, don't you like them?
Yeah. I must tie more for my friends.
Yes.
This was a great fly on Draycock. Caught some fish, about 30 fish one day on Draycock. This thing. That's not too far away from you guys, is it, Draycock?
No.
No. Just about hour and 45 minutes from me, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. In my Volvo, that turns into like an helicopter, the speed of it. Boom.
Three and a half hours for me. I definitely don't think I'll be going in there. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours from here. But yeah, we generally spend a week there for the John Watt Trophy. We usually go and have, there's 4 of us go down and have a laugh. Right, this is just a yellow cockhackle. I'm going to palm her down. You might have more luck with this, Gavin. You do a proper one.
Yeah. I take it all these, and it's one of those things. I've got loads in my box.
Yeah.
But,
my bogey flies the Viva.
Really?
Yeah, I've never caught a fish on a Viva. Don't use it much for that reason, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and this is just a white hen. A bit big, that one. See if I can get a smaller one. I'll tighten tip first.
What's this called again, Melvyn?
It's cat's whisker wet fly.
Somebody's got the telly going.
Yeah, a bit of music.
You always get one odd one that don't want to play, don't you?
You do. So the webcam's causing me a bit of a problem. It's a poor tradesman that blames his tools.
You're doing all right.
I don't even think mine has autofocus. I think mine's just a cheap crap one.
You don't use a bead on the front.
No. If I want my flies to sink, I'll put a different line on.
Okay. Yeah. That's nice, that is. I like the yellow dancer. That's a little bit like a yellow dancer.
That's the I was going to say.
That's my bogey fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's neat. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Now, this fly, I'll tell you when these sort of flies win, is when your fish have been in for a week or two. You know, stocked fish have been in a week or two, and they've stopped wanting big flies, and they've stopped wanting, you know, big bulky flies, blobs and stuff like that, and they'll start to come to these a lot better. So when the stockies are not behaving themselves, get these on, and you tend to do better with them. But I do like big bushy flies, if you probably have guessed.
Movement.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever tied that with a white deer hair head?
I haven't, but
Probably look good. Probably do the job.
There's a guy up in Scotland called McDonald.
No.
Is it free with him?
Only one.
You see that?
Yeah, beautiful.
Wow. That's nice.
It's almost a spider, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only 12. I tie them on 10s, 12s, 10s and 12s. Yeah, spider with a hackled body.
Mm.
Okay. I'll
You fish
say
a
that
lot.
at last. I'll do this other rainbow fly because this is a good rainbow fly for stock fish and fish in midsummer. You know, Daphne feeders.
What colour is it going to be? Orange?
Orange and gold.
Many moons ago, there was a chap fishing Abington, and
Yep.
he used to buy thousands of flies off us, thousands and thousands. But he used to do a lure for him called a kappa lure. Where you do that?
I've not heard of it, no.
Right, we used to tie him on a partridge, flat-bodied mayfly hook. It would be orange marabou and orange seal fur. And there used to be 2 whole marabou plumes, whole feathers tied on this one hook. It would be, my God, size of a tennis ball.
Yeah.
But see the fish used to catch on it because he used to fish it as a Daphne plume.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I tend to leave the marabou out when I'm fishing the marabou and the seal's fur out when they're on the Daphne.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't like that. I prefer a gold body to an orange seal's fur.
All right.
It just seems to work better for me.
It's just the movement that marabou gives. If you fish it really slow, it just pulses in the water. Just check it out and hold on.
Have you ever seen have you ever seen Daphne feeders moving?
Fish. I think I have, to be honest, on chew.
Right.
They just, with their mouths open, go through the water. That's what we were looking at.
I just put these on a slow sinking line. You just whack them out and just let them drop.
That's it, yeah.
Right. Dippets. If you want your tippets to stay together, all right, a couple of soft turns. If you want them to splay, just give them a tight turn and they'll splay.
So gold tinsel, Melvyn?
Gold tinsel, yeah. Old gold.
Old gold.
And the thing about with tinsels is if you're putting a tinsel body on, touching turns back and forwards, if you put an open turn in, you'll see it through your gold tinsel. So nice even body.
It's surprising the amount of modern day players that can't do that.
What's that?
Lay tinsel on. If it's not Fritz, no, it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not Fritz, it doesn't work.
Yeah, but that's, there's horses for courses, isn't there? If they want to do that.
No, they catch fish.
If they want to choose to fish like that, then they should be allowed to fish like that. I haven't got anything against it.
No.
But don't, because they're catching 40 fish and 50 fish at a session on a small still water, doesn't make them a good fisherman. And they think they are.
Where are you getting your coloured saddles from?
I am myself.
Dye yourself. I guess you
I
would.
don't like the colours that I'm seeing.
Vineyards dye?
Pardon?
Do you use vineyards?
I certainly don't.
No.
No.
Where'd you get your dyes from then?
Well, there's a place just up the road from me. You see, I'm in the dyeing capital of the world. Huddersfield used to be the place. There's more dye works around here than anywhere. So all I've got to do is nip down to. Well, in fact, I know somebody that's a dyer. He gets me some dyes, so that's what I do. But Vineyards dyes, the colours are good. Don't get me wrong, but they go nowhere. They cut to hell. You look at the amount of salt that's in them. That's my issue. It just doesn't go anywhere. But the colours are good. Dyeing's an art in itself. It's just taking fly time that little bit further. To be quite honest, I like dyeing. Right, okay. Now, so gold body, orange cockhackle, saddle, and an orange hen in front. Nice, easy, simple fly.
They're some good quality feathers, though, Melvyn.
Well, the hens aren't. They're from Ollie's. I'm saying they're not good. They're all right. They're Ollie's hackles. I don't know. You know Ollie hackles? Northern Ireland lad.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I've had a black hackle off him.
Yeah. Well, I get the white ones. I say send us half a dozen white hen saddles, and then I dye them myself. But they're not. They're not mega good. But
I like the way he cures the skin.
Yeah.
Where'd you get your old gold tinsel from?
Wolverhampton.
I get the old gold from Dead Man's Fly Tying Chess.
There's something in that.
Mm.
Okay, there you go.
Very good.
Don't you varnish, Melvyn?
Pardon?
You varnish your heads.
I do, but I'm not doing it now. If you varnish your head, I'll varnish your heads on all the ones that I've tied. That's That's a fly you're not going to get.
I was just wondering if you do or not.
Oh, I do. Super glue.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
Okay.
And that's one for the finny feeders.
That's one for the, Daphnia.
What would you call that fly?
I just call it orange palmer. There is a Northampton fly that's very, very similar that's called the Oakham orange. Okay.
Melvyn,
Yeah.
you fish in the Outer Hebrides, don't you?
I do, yes.
Have you ever heard of Brian Clark's Ombudsman?
I have. I have not used it.
Have you seen one?
I'm pretty sure there's one in a book that I've got.
Right, yeah. I found it in, I think, Robson's Guide to Flies.
Right. Who am I talking to? Am I talking to Dennis?
No, you're talking to Dayton.
Tony.
All right. I can't see you.
Can you?
No.
Oh, hang on.
What
do we do about that?
You put your camera on.
Let's do that. Hang on. How do we do that?
Just click it.
There should be a little icon with a camera with a line through it.
Left-hand corner.
If you go down to the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the little camera with a red line. Click on that and it should open it up.
That's it. You've done it.
Oh, I've got it.
Ah!
Hey! Hey!
Good man.
Got there eventually.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Right. No, to tell you the truth, I know what flies work for me. So generally, for salmon and sea trout, I'm fishing silver invicta. I'm fishing silver dabbler. I'm fishing clan chiefs, the standard clan chief, you know, when the fluorescent tails, the clan chief cripplers with muddler heads, black pennels and Cape McLarens, and Donegal blue, and that's about all I need. Peter Ross on occasions. Yeah, so that's generally what I take.
Right.
And when you're traveling like 5 miles through a bloody peat bog, you don't want to be carrying loads of flies. You know, you're going to need 2 rods and a reel and a line, and that's it. Because by the time you get to fishing, you're knackered.
And a bag of sandwiches.
And a bag of sandwiches, yeah. Well, that's most important for a fat lad like me. Yeah. So, yeah, I do fish Hebrides, and I love them. South Uist is not the place it used to be, but certainly Lewis and Harris are.
Yeah.
I fished South Uist for years and years and years, and the decline in the fishing was quite dramatic.
Why then? What's the cause of that? Overfished or?
I don't think there's enough preservation being done up there. I don't think pardon?
Does it get fished that much?
It gets fished a hell of a lot. There's some great brown trout fishing there.
All right.
I had a 5 pound 2 out of West Ollie, which was the second biggest fish that caught that year. That was a cracking fish. That were on a silver dabbler. We've not tied that, have we? That silver dabbler.
No.
I better tie that before I go. But I'm not joking. That flies second to none. Right, I'll tie a silver dabbler. I should have the material out. Should have.
I got some bronze mallard there if you want some. We shot 40 odd ducks on Saturday. My lads. Oh yeah.
So I don't run short of bronze mallard.
It's a bit early for the real good stuff yet, though, isn't it?
Oh. No, it's not. it's what they're telling you is a load of rubbish. Once them bronze mallards are full, they don't go browner. Right, okay. Silver dabbler. I'll have to get the materials out. I think I've used it. Put it on a size 10. I'll just take my webcam off a minute and just take you around me. White tape room. You see that, fella?
Yeah.
That's my hand against it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's a beauty.
12. That's 12.7. 12.7. 20th of April 2000. 2008.
Where'd you
And
have
that
it?
was caught in a silver dabbler. It's still got it in its mouth.
Where did you catch it?
Loch Corrib.
Oh, Christ.
And it was over shallows. It was caught on a sink tip line. There's some shallows up the north end called the Sordance Islands. And there was a shallow piece, and I threw my line out, started to strip it back, and I thought I'd caught a log in the water because it didn't move. And then all of a sudden, I just felt this thump, 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 as its tail went from side to side like that. And it towed 3 big lads upwind for 3/4 of an hour. And I thought it were a pike. I thought it were a big pike. And the boatman said, no, that's not a big pike. That's a fish. And sure enough, it was. And it took me 3/4 of an hour to get it. Half an hour to get it to the surface so we could see it were a trout. And then it took me another 1/4 of an hour to get it into the net. And I was fishing 5-pound line.
Oh, God.
Well, only fishing for, sort of
Yeah.
14-inch fish. And then that bugger came along. Right, okay. So these are the bronze mallard fibres for the tail, which are from the top end of the feather. These are stiffer than the fibres at the lower end. Just to give you my take on Ireland as well, I find that the fishing in Scotland is better than Ireland. I do. Same length of tail as the length of the hook for this fella. But whenever I fish in Ireland, I never want to come home.
No.
That's the Guinness.
Well, that may have something to do with it, yeah.
Whiskey.
The scenery, the scenery is the same, it's no different to Scotland, really. The west coast of Scotland is some tremendous scenery. The people seem to be a lot different.
Oh,
They just lovely. I made the great mistake the last time I were over, going in the petrol station with my cap on, which had loads of flies in. It took me 3/4 of an hour to get out of that petrol station. Everybody wanted to know about the fishing and whether the fly were up, and they all want to tell you family history about the great granddad that caught this 30-pounder. It's just wonderful.
The mosquitoes aren't as bad in Ireland, are they, either?
Really not.
No.
It's one thing I don't miss.
Oh, foxy midges.
We fish on this small sporting estate on Lewis called Hermanave. And we put this smidge on, which is good. It's great stuff. It keeps them at bay. But even so, you've got this smidge on. You're still wiping them out of your eyeballs.
Oh, in it. I use the A1 so soft.
Yeah, Skin So Soft. We used to use it, but this smidge is better, Gav.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't seem to work anymore.
But Skin So Soft is, it's great. But you've to have the right stuff, haven't you? There's two makes of it.
Work over in Norway, that's for sure.
Pardon?
Skin So Soft didn't work in Norway. That was for sure.
Right, no? Yeah, but there's two sorts.
Well,
some in a blue bottle and some in a pink bottle.
Neither of them works. I just stole a local's DEET.
Fucking DEET's what you want.
That's what I used, DEET in the end.
Yeah, well,
that's what I got. But you're from the airport.
DEET is in smidge.
Yeah.
And it's DEET and Skin So Soft. But DEET's not good for you.
Oh, it gives you skin cancer, isn't it? It's not the best.
No, and not only that, it rots your handles of your rods. And now then, with this, I'm going to put the dubbing on now for this silver dabbler, but it's got to be put on thin, because if you don't put it on thin, you lose your rib in it. Okay, so on thin. I fished in Norway, primarily sea fishing, but we did have some salmon fishing.
Yeah. And
that is a lovely country.
That's beautiful, loved it. Yeah. We went up to the Rainer River and the Glommas for obviously grayling and brown trout.
Right, okay. We were in Serenadal on the Sørne, which is just south of Trondheim. So we weren't that far up, really. But the people were fantastic. The food was shite.
Oh,
the people were fantastic. They were eating. They delighted in giving us their local delicacies, which were just bloody cod and cod cheek and cod's eyeballs. And
I was quite lucky. We had like capercaillie and fallow deer and moose, and it was beautiful.
Well, that was nice. We didn't get anything like that.
That was stunning.
We had a bit of whale, which I was quite surprised.
Once fermented, was it?
It was quite nice. Right, okay. So we've now got silver rib, 50% seal's fur, 50% tinsel. Right, now, the hackle is brown, red game. I'll just see if I've got this right. That's a bit not too good. We'll use this one. And I'm not bothered with it being a little bit larger than it should be. After all, it's a dabbler. And dabblers are all about movement.
Bit of movement, yeah.
A couple of turns at the head. And then we'll palmer it down 3 or 4 times. Now I'm laying this silver tinsel, the silver wire over the silver tinsel. Okay. There is a version where you can put, they tie the hackle in with the silver tinsel, but I always find it just knocks hell out of your knocks hell out of your hackle, it flattens it. And it's never quite the same.
So you put the turns of hackle through the seal's fur, yeah?
Pardon?
You put the turns of hackle through the seal's fur?
Through the seal's fur and trapped it in with the silver wire over the silver tinsel.
Yeah.
Okay. So that done. Take that off. Now, I'm going to rag it. Rag that seal skirt out. There's nothing for the hackle. It makes it all shapes, but that doesn't matter. You know, us fly ties make things too neat.
Oh, yeah.
The emphasis is on neatness. It shouldn't be about that. The fishability of the fly.
Gold
right,
ribbed
okay.
Gold ribbed dares you, you know?
Sorry, Gavin, I didn't get that.
A gold ribbed dares you. Scruff it up, you'll catch fish anywhere.
Absolutely. Rivers, locks, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, okay. Now then. Got some bronze malachite fibres. I'm going to put one I've got two wings. I'm going to lay one on top of the other. This is the other one. Just getting the tips level. Right. Now then, there's quite a few ways of putting wings on dabblers. You can have a wing on top and a wing on bottom. You can have them rolled right around the hook shank, or you can have them cloaked, which is halfway around, well, 3/4 of the way around the hook shank. Flies the Irish way. There's only one way for him, and that is cloaked. So I'm going to put your cloak wing on. And cloak wings are easy. Okay, so the wing needs to come halfway into the tail. Okay, right on top of it. Now, if you push that feather down so it's touching the eye, you can tell whether it's in the middle. You get a little bump, and that little bump should be in the middle. When you've got that little bump, you fold that feather round that hook. Yeah? Have we got that? Do you want me to do it again?
No.
Right. So 2 turns, 2 soft turns, hold it tight, pull it down, then put 2 or 3 turns on, because you can take them off, because we're gonna chop that off. And there you've got your dabbler. Yeah. Folks say to me, oh, I'll struggle with dabbler wings. No hard about that, is there? And what I also try to do as well, snipping it off is not easy. Snipping this off is not easy. So I pull it back, and then I put a few turns in at the eye there. So that just lifts those fibres. Get me fine scissors, if I can find them. Can't find them. Whistle them, and they might appear. They're here. Good. And then it's just a case of nipping them off. It takes a bit of time, but your time's your own. And all you need to do is pull that lot back, just the ends up, lift the ends up. I don't know if you can see that. I've lifted those cut ends up, and I'm coming from the eye of the hook, and I'm coming back. Then I'm going back to the eye of the hook, and then coming back. Eye of the hook, and coming back. And with this 12-0, I can do that a few times before I get a massive built-up head. It's very, very good for that.
You got some to cut off.
Just finish it. Here you, Gavin.
You got some to cut off this side.
That's it. Just up there.
That's the one.
Yeah.
back to what you said, Mel, about using a 12-0 silk.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very fine.
Yeah.
And it's strong. This is the stuff.
That's it. It's really good.
Yeah, I can't. When I went to Semperfly, when they asked me to be on the pro team, I said to them, if there's material that I don't like, I'll tell you, and I won't use it.
Yeah.
If it's material I like, I'll tell everybody. You know, I'm not a bullshitter, as you probably gathered. And this 12 rows, sorry, the wax thread is the top stuff.
Yeah, I got it on my spools in front of
Not
me.
only that, you can flatten it out. You can't really flatten uni. You can flatten it out and you can split it dead easy.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
And of course, go into like a 12-0.
Pardon?
Go into a 12-0, gives you that extra little bit of room on the hook when you're actually tying.
It does. I mean, you look at that head. You know, you saw how many turns I put on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not one for these big heads on flies. You know, the smaller you can get them, that's for me. Whether it makes any difference, Gavin, I don't know. But
I think
I like a small meat head.
It's that's being neat.
Yeah. And that's your silver dabbler. That is the sedgehog and the silver dabbler for general fishing is the fly.
Yeah. It's nice. Good. You've done this before, haven't you?
I had one or two of them.
Yeah. You ever put them on a double?
I do put them on a double. I do when I'm fishing for sea trout. I don't know who makes them, but I must have got 300 or 400. But they're bloody vicious. If I'm killing sea trout, I do enjoy eating sea trout. And I don't kill that many, don't get me wrong, but if I'm intent on taking one or two home, I'll put them on a double, and these doubles are vicious. They don't come out. Once they're in, they don't come out. So yeah, I wouldn't if I were catching and releasing, I wouldn't use a double.
No,
I haven't killed a salmon in 10 years.
I tend to find the double, especially my dabblers, they're always on a point, is the double fishes better. It holds better in the water.
Yeah, it drops. It straightens out your cast.
Straighten and when you bob it off.
And it balances everything. You know, you generally don't tangle up. Yeah, even though it's a double, you know, it just the cast just lovely.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you want me to do another one, or have you had enough?
No. Carry on.
Don't all shout at once. You all want to go home.
Carry on, Melvyn. We got plenty of time.
We've all taped Coronation Street, so it's okay. Yeah.
Oh dear, Coronation Street.
Oh,
Right, Rob Denson's Clan Chief Crippler, variant. I have to say variant because me and Rob have words about this fly. In that he doesn't want a tail in them, and I think they need a tail. I just think the tail balances the fly. Anyway, there's a top dropper fly. For salmon, there is no finer. There's a lot of material in it. Okay. What did I do with my hook? It's here. big hook, size 8. I've caught them on the. I've caught salmon from boats, many salmon from boats, and the odd salmon from the shore. When you go to South Uis in August, you probably got 2 days bank fishing because of the weather. Right, I'm going to start the body here. Okay, I've got a lot of materials to go on after the body. So the body's going on there. Take that off. I'll put the rib in now.
Is that the 12-aught thread again?
As I'm going down. Yeah. Okay, now the tail. The tail is golden pheasant breast. Yeah. So I don't want too many fibres because I've got a red one going on top of it. Needs to be quite a length as well. Okay. And the red one. Always the light underneath the dark. I don't know if you guys follow that rule.
Excuse me.
Now, if you were good, you'd be able to do this all at once. Put them in together. Okay, like that. Down we go. Rob Denson's a great fly tyer, and he designed some wonderful flies. I wouldn't class myself as being artistic, you know. I'm a copier of designs, me. Very rarely do I come up with something original. But I mean, Denson and Arthur MacDonald and these fellas, the guys with the artistic backgrounds tend to produce some wonderful flies. They've just got this know-how about colour and how to blend colour that we don't. The Irish lads have that one taped. Okay, right, so that's black seal's fur. And I'm now going to put in quite a long grizzle hen dyed red. The original clan chief has a black, it's tied like a bumble was the original clan chief.
Yeah.
And that has a red and a black hackle running through it. Well, this is grizzle. Probably got the same effect, only it's not as dense. I've got a lot of material on this desk now. Right, so I'm not doubling it. Okay, so a couple of turns. And then we're going through it. Sorry about that. And then through with the silver wire. I prefer to use wire rather than tinsels. I just find them a lot more robust.
Yeah, the uni ones can shred a little bit, can't they?
Yeah, they can.
The longer ton, they are good.
They're the best.
They
Absolutely the best.
Yeah. But the price as well, mate.
Talking to a Yorkshireman here again.
Was copper wire everywhere then.
We're like Scotsmen, but with all the generosity squeezed out. Right. I was going to rag all this out. I've lost my rag out tool. Get the other one. Okay, there you go. Right. So having done that, we now should be a yellow one somewhere here. Right. Golden pheasant breast feather. Tie it in at the tip. Tie it this way, Melvyn, and you're not tying spiders. I like to use hackle pliers. I find that I'm more in control with a hackle plier.
Yeah.
Rather than just using the stem. Right, that's the first hackle in.
No, not for.
Right, this is the side feathers of a golden pheasant.
It's a right bushy old thing, isn't it?
Don't you like a bushy?
Oh, I do.
Not the trend these days. It's got the classical salmon colours, you know, red, black, and yellow. Right, now I'm going to twist this thread up, going clockwise now because I want the strength. Now, if I were tying Denson's version, I'd have omitted the tail and I'd have just put a hen hackle, a black hen hackle on the front. But I'm going to put the muddler head on now. And I'm going to turn that into a bit of a hackle as well. So I've got some raw here dyed black. I'm taking a fair bunch. Fan it out and get rid of all the rubbish. Good enough. Right, I'm taking this fella right to the back of the hook. Couple of turns of 3. Just start to pull it tight and then spin it. And then take it through that hackle right to the front. Take your thread through. Yeah, that'll do. Pull it back. Put plenty on. With finishing tool. I'll probably drop that on the floor at some point. The reason why I spun it up for the start is, I don't know if this happens to you, but it certainly happens to me, is that it tends to fray the thread. So twist it up. If you twist it up, it makes the thread a lot stronger. It's like single strands of wire are very weak. If you wind it into a rope, it becomes very strong. Okay, so then it's just clipping it to shape. So I'm just clipping the cut ends off and not the tips. I'm just grabbing them in bunches.
You heard about that Yorkshire lad, didn't you, Melvyn?
One.
He asked his dad for 20 quid. He says, 10? What do you want 5 for?
Aye. Don't ever let anybody tell you that we're not tight. We're tight and proud of it.
No, I believe God. They look nice scissors you've got there.
Yeah, these are deer hair scissors,
nice.
the guideline scissors. Yeah, they're good. My mate has just died, Dave Story. I don't know if you knew Dave Story. He used to post a lot of flies on Facebook.
Yeah. I've heard of him.
Yeah, good tyre. Good tyre. Anyway, unfortunately, the big sea got him this year.
Oh, never.
He used to do it with a razor blade, and he used to do some, they were beautiful, his muddler heads. Anyway, that's it. That's it. And muddler fishing for your salmon is the nearest thing we're going to get, really, to catching them on a dry fly. Seeing them come up and hammer into it. Yeah, it really is something else. Okay, there you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good fly.
Right. That's it, Japs.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah. I hope you've had your money's worth.
Melvyn. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melvyn.
Yeah, very welcome. If there's anything you want to know about how to fish them or how I fish them, or you just fire away.
Melvyn, and Andrew here. I, many years ago, picked up a selection of those muddlers from a guy in Scotland, and I've still got a few left, but they've got kingfisher blue slips on the side from goose. Ever seen those done before?
No, I've not.
With jungle cocks on the front. Very small jungle cocks, and then kingfisher blue down the side.
Right.
And they came out of the Hebrides.
Kingfisher blue what? Sides or?
Yeah, just a flash.
Right, okay. Yeah. Well, blue's a good colour. Donegal blue on a middle dropper is good. It can be a great fly. Yeah. But to me, it don't beat Cape McLaren. When I used to do a lot of river fishing for salmon on the Ribble. And I always used to fish a dropper.
Right.
The Ribble's a big sea trout river, and I thought I've either fish a black pennel or a Cape McLaren on the dropper, and I caught as many salmon on the Cape McLaren and the black pennel as I did on the shrimp patterns on the front.
Yeah,
it tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Tony was talking about Brian Clark's automobile fly. I fished those up in South Uist. Never caught anything on them at all. Nothing.
What, dry flies on South Uist?
Yeah.
For the salmon?
Yeah.
No, muddlers.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that the muddler is dry fly fishing, but it's the nearest thing you'll get to dry fly fishing,
sure.
Andrew.
Yeah. Where did you go in North Scotland, up on the mainland?
Oh, for sea trout and salmon?
Trout.
Loch Hope.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I wrote an article in Fly Fishing and Fly Tying about Hope. The south end of Loch Hope, it's all right for me. I've not fished the Jinnard. I've not been fortunate enough to be asked. But they reckon the Jinnard's every bit as good, if not better, than Loch Hope. But Loch Hope on the mainland is really good. Yeah.
I've had a 4.5 pound sea trade out of Loch Hope several times.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But always on, I suppose, really the faithful usual trout flies, nothing unusual.
No.
Especially.
I don't fish anything else but trout flies for my salmon.
Right.
Right, sir.
Have you fished the two lots below that?
What, below Loch Hope?
Yeah.
There ain't any.
Over the hill, I should say. Sorry, when I say over there.
The Neva, Loch Neva.
No, slightly to the east of Loch Neva.
Oh, to the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the Jinnard.
East of Loch Hope. To the east of Loch Neva.
Oh, east of Loch Hope will be the Neva.
Oh, yeah, and again over the next hill.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know that one.
Okay.
Right, but I do know the Neva.
Yep.
Yeah.
Caught many out of that?
I've not caught many. I've caught sea trout out of it. You see, the Neva is a salmon river. The thing about certain lochs is, if you're fishing over 10 feet of water, you're not fishing for salmon. So these lochs where it just goes right in from the hill and drops to depth, you won't catch salmon in unless you're trolling, really.
Yeah.
But if you're fly fishing in less than 10 feet of water, you can be fishing for salmon.
Yeah. You always said if you can see the bottom, you can catch fish. You can't see the bottom, different world.
Yeah, that's the salmon job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the best day I had on the south end of Loch Hope was 5 salmon. I had 5 salmon in a day. Yeah, it was phenomenal. And one of them, we hooked it. There was a stream coming in. As you're looking north, it was on the right-hand side, right at the top of the beat. And through these flies over this stream mouth, there was a gravel bar as it had washed the gravel out of the stream into the loch.
Yeah.
And I hit this salmon, and this salmon went ballistic. It jumped straight into the air. It was splashing its tail out, and then it just ran straight at me, and it ran under the boat. So this thing's jumping and splashing about 30 feet behind me. I couldn't do anything. There's the outboard engine on the side of the boat to roll out to get the fish into deeper water, and then I had to manoeuvre the flies around the outboard. And I said to my mate, "I'm not going to get this in, but I'm not right bothered because I'm having my foot out of it now."
Yeah.
But we were all laughing. We were all in hysterics. It was just one of those a fish you're always going to remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I tend to remember the ones that I lost rather than the ones I've got.
Yeah.
Now, I once remember my biggest salmon's not very big, 22 pound, and I hooked one at Sawley on the Ribble that was well in excess of that, well in excess of it. I've been a bit different in a river, you know, you're fishing with heavier tackle, and I've been playing it for a good 20 minutes, and I was fishing with a mate of mine, and he'd gone up the river, and I'm shouting him because I hadn't got a net. And I'm shouting him, and he must have been miles up. Anyway, you'll never believe me. He'll never believe me I've caught this one because I put them all back. So, and then I remembered I got my phone on me. And I thought, where am I going to land this fish now? Where am I going to land it? And it got to the point where its head was out of the water. And I manoeuvred it to the bank where I was going to beach it. I thought, I'll beach it here. I can take its photograph there and I'll release it. And the bloody thing came off. And I still have nightmares about that. It kept me sleepless for about a week. Yeah. So that's the one I remember most.
Yeah.
But I mean, trips away with like-minded people and in wonderful places and good fishing is what it's all about for me. Yeah. Gone are the competition days when I was young and stupid. Yeah. Just enjoying my fishing these days. Anyway, guys, it's been great time for you. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
Really good.
Thanks, Melvyn. Thank you.
Right, you're welcome. And I hope to see you all at the BFFI.
Yep, we'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be on Tyres Row with you, I think.
Are you on Tyres Row, Andy?
Yeah, I'm on Tyres Row, yeah.
Good man. Right.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thanks, Melvyn.
Cheers now, Wayne.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Okay.
you all.
See you. Bye.